I guess it's 6:01. First thing we're going to do is, if we could, we're going to do this a little bit differently tonight because we have kind of some slightly unique circumstances as far as the invocation and things like that. I would first, I'm going to ask everybody to stand, and we're going to maybe observe a moment for two folks that we have lost, Mr. Dale Anderson, and of course on a more national level, Senator John McCain just the other day. So when I ask us to kind of stand, we will pause for a few moments, take a moment of silence for the two of those folks that we lost, and then Commissioner Randall is going to go ahead and do the invocation for us. So if we could please stand.
Would you pray with me, please? Dear Heavenly Father, thanks so much for this wonderful day you've given us, Lord, and all the many blessings we enjoy in this fine city, in this state, in this country, and pray you continue to look over us and shower blessings upon us, and continue to guide us in the ways you see fit. Lord, be with us this evening as we make decisions on behalf of the city, and help us to have all of our citizens in mind when we make these decisions for everybody. And pray be with those both locally and abroad, and those we've lost recently, and be with their families and comfort them. And lost a great gentleman here locally in Dale Anderson, and of course Senator John McCain. Pray you just be with those families. I know it's on a big scale on some of these, but it's still a personal note to the families of those people and their loved ones. As you know, our region is in a drought, and if you see fit in our future, Lord, some moisture would be much appreciated. And pray you continue to be with our children as they're in school and are coming up on a holiday weekend, and be with all this for traveling in and around our state and our area. Continue to bless us and be with us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico as the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. All right, I'm sure you probably noticed a few people missing tonight. We have some folks at the New Mexico Municipal League annual meeting. Everybody to my left is representing the city of Aztec at the Municipal League meeting. So, but luckily we still have a quorum, so we can still conduct city business. Sherilyn, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Snowbird?
Here.
Commissioner Lewis?
Here.
Commissioner Randall?
Here.
Commissioner Syke and Mayor Pro Tem Frye are absent.
Okay. Thank you. Next thing will be the agenda approval. If there are any items that do not meet the approval for being heard on this evening's agenda, now is the time to remove those items.
Mayor, I move to approve this evening's agenda as given.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Next we have citizen recognition. Is there anything? And if you would mind, if you would indulge me for a second, I didn't know where to kind of put it in here, so there's a couple of things that I want to read. This is something the city manager kind of made up for me, recognizing Mr. Anderson. I personally didn't know Mr. Anderson really well. I met him, in the process of, getting to know business owners, et cetera, as we were running for city commission, and I got to know him a little bit. I considered him a friend, although a new friend, and is just tragic, and my heart goes out to his friends and family, those that have known him for years and years. I'm so sorry that we lost him, and even more so to the folks that have known him for years, and family and et cetera. So Dale Anderson was co-owner of Aztec Media. Obviously, he was very special to our community in so many ways. He was an advocate for Aztec and the surrounding communities, working to keep our local history preserved and at the forefront for promoting tourism. Dale was passionate about Aztec and demonstrated that passion by attending commission meetings, providing his input on community issues, economic development, and working tirelessly to keep the Pioneer Village and Aztec Museum building and grounds safe and accessible for all to enjoy. Dale loved helping and encouraging people to shine and recognize possibilities. Dale is a true community supporter and will be very missed. So, thank you. And I wouldn't probably normally do this. I guess it's a little bit, and it's new for me as well, so please bear with me. I feel like our country, our community lost somebody great in Dale Anderson, but I feel like our country lost somebody great this past weekend when Senator John McCain passed on. I've just read so many things, good and bad about Senator McCain, and there's a lot of emotion surrounding this. If you watch the news, you've probably seen some of the stuff, some of the good stuff and some of the ugly stuff. But he did put out kind of a posthumous statement that he had prepared before his passing, and I think it's very relevant and applicable to our times, even here in little Aztec, New Mexico. So if you would indulge me for a minute, I'm going to read through this real quick. My fellow Americans, whom I have gratefully served for 60 years, and especially my fellow Arizonans, thank you for the privilege of serving you and for the rewarding life that service in uniform and in public office has allowed me to lead. I have tried to serve our country honorably. I have made mistakes, but I hope my love for America will be weighed favorably against them. I have often observed that I am the luckiest person on earth. I feel that way even now as I prepare for the end of my life. I have loved my life, all of it. I have had experiences, adventures, and friendships enough for 10 satisfying lives, and I am so thankful. Like most people, I have regrets, but I would not trade a day of my life, in good or bad times, for the best days of anyone else's. I owe that satisfaction to the love of my family. No man ever had a more loving wife or children he was prouder of than I am of mine, and I owe it to America, to be connected to America's causes. Liberty, equal justice, respect for the dignity of all people brings happiness more sublime than life's fleeting pleasures. Our identities and sense of worth are not circumscribed but enlarged by serving good causes bigger than ourselves. Fellow Americans, that association has meant more to me than any other. I lived and died a proud American. We are citizens of the world's greatest republic, a nation of ideals, not blood and soil. We are blessed and are a blessing to humanity when we uphold and advance those ideals at home and in the world. We have helped liberate more people from tyranny and poverty than ever before in history. We have acquired great wealth and power in the process. We weaken our greatness when we confuse our patriotism with tribal rivalries that have sown resentment and hatred and violence in all the corners of the globe. We weaken it when we hide behind walls rather than tear them down, when we doubt the power of ideals rather than trust them to be the great force for change they have always been. We are 325 million opinionated, vociferous individuals. We argue and compete and sometimes even vilify each other in our raucous public debates. But we have always had so much more in common with each other than in disagreement. If we only remember that and give each other the benefit of the presumption that we all love our country, we will get through these challenging times. We will come through them stronger than before. We always do. 10 years ago, I had the privilege to concede defeat in the election for president. I want to end my farewell to you with the heartfelt faith in Americans that I felt so powerfully that evening. I feel it powerfully still. Do not despair of our present difficulties, but believe always in the promise and greatness of America, because nothing is inevitable here. Americans never quit. We never surrender. We never hide from history. We make history. Farewell, fellow Americans. God bless you, and God bless America. So, thank you. Okay. It's kind of a strange segue. Let's move on to employee recognition. I don't see any. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda will be voted on with one motion. If any item proposed does not meet the approval of all commissioners, a commissioner may request that the item be heard under items from consent agenda. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to, I'm sorry, were you going to pull something?
No, okay. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, we are moving right along, folks. We're in citizens recognition, or I'm sorry, citizens input, pardon me. There's a 3 minutes maximum. Citizens who wish to speak will sign up prior to the meeting. This is for items not otherwise listed on the agenda. Ms. Aguirre, did I do that right this time?
Very
Close, very close? Okay. All right.
well. The only thing I'd like to say is, I think I've started a little trend on the box outside the shop, and I hope you all come and see it because it's beautiful. It speaks of Aztec and its undying and wonderful spirit, where one little lady brought together a whole community to build a road to Navajo Dam. So in saying that, please go by, look at it. I'd love to hear your input, and I have the artist. So if you'd like a mural on your building, please contact me. He is fabulous and he'll do what you want. And that's all I have to say, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Oh, and it's increased foot traffic.
okay. I can see that. People wanting to check it out, curiosity, looking around.
And
Yeah,
Louisianans and Canadians taking pictures with it.
that's cool. Very cool. Okay. We are ready to get into business items, folks. Business item A, final adoption of ordinance 2018-480, amending Chapter 16, Article 7, municipal motor vehicle operation fees.
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners. Tonight, this is before you for final adoption. We've had no comments since we last heard it to the intent to adopt. That was on July 24, 2018. What this is doing is increasing all transaction fees by $1 to $6, except for bins and road tests to $10. Nothing has changed since
Okay.
last weekend.
All right, we'll open it up for any questions or discussion from the commission.
I just
I
had
don't
one-
have any.
I just had one question, and I mean, I've always just
Okay.
wondered it, and I forget the reason why it has to be cash for the city fee.
The reason we have cash is we're not accepting checks, because if we get the return checks, then we have that fee of $25 for the
Right.
$5, and we want to increase those fees. Also, the credit cards, we're not set up to do the credit card fees with the motor vehicle. The state is set up for the credit card fees to do their transactions, but a credit card, we also pass on the fee to process that transactions. So
Right.
that fee would be a minimum of $2. So it's just cash.
Oh, so even if we got set up, it'd still be another $2 fee.
So
Okay,
it'd be $7 on top of that, but we don't get the $2, the credit card company does
right.
that.
Well, and I'm not trying to muddy the waters. I say that every meeting. But would, and I don't know if it would be worth kind of looking into, because I just, I know when kind of point of sale machines and card machines were first becoming a little bit more, popular or run of the mill and more common, is that in some cases, like, it would say you have to make a purchase above X amount of dollars for us to accept your card. I mean, and I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it would be worth maybe doing a little informal study as over 90 days or so that people come in through the MVD and say, we just want you to answer a quick question. Would you be willing to pay the extra service fee if we installed, a card? Because and I'm only speaking for myself, I rarely carry cash, and that is, the $5 fee or $6 fee isn't the issue. It's the inconvenience of almost never having cash, and more of a paperless type of society. I'm just curious, just for my own
Yeah, that's
curiosity.
something to look into. You had mentioned about buying a little bit more extra or something, but we don't give cash back on
Right.
transactions.
Right.
So if you use your credit card, you couldn't get cash.
Yeah, it would
20%.
just be like, going into this, if you swipe your card, it's going to be X amount more, and if you're okay with that, here you go.
Yeah, something we can research and see if we want to do that. It's also the reconciling of those credit cards.
And yeah, that may not be worth it. You might end up paying more labor than it's worth, and I don't know that side of it either, so.
Yeah, and it'd be two different credit
Maybe have to be
systems,
two.
So we'd have to
Mhm.
swipe this one for the state transaction, we'd have to swipe over here.
Oh,
for the city
well,
transaction.
all right,
It's not the same.
you got me. I'm there.
We can definitely do some.
No, yeah, I mean, and that's why we ask these questions, I guess. Yeah, so, okay.
Can't mix and mingle those two.
All right.
That's all.
Anybody? Mark? Anything?
No, we
Okay.
talked about this before already, so
Yeah.
familiar with it.
Okay, well, thank you, Dwayne. All right, no further discussion, so I guess I'll entertain a motion for item A, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2018-480, amending Chapter 16, Article 7, municipal motor vehicle operation fees.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Sherilyn, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Mayor Snover?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
All right, next item is item B, final adoption of ordinance 2018-481, amending Chapter 16, Article 9, community development fees.
Mayor, Commission, my name is Andrew D. Camillo. I'm standing in for Director Steven Sevasia tonight. This is a final adoption of the rate increase. In your packet, or the staff summary report, details the example of how the Community Development Department is subsidizing a lot of our zone requests and other requests that we get in the office from time to time on conditional use, the variance that has come before you in the past. If you'd like, I can read the example or stand for questions.
Any questions? Would anybody like him to read it? I'm pretty comfortable with it because this is, we've already talked about this and I've reviewed,
Yeah.
so.
I reviewed it again last Sunday night, so
Yeah.
it hadn't changed since.
So no, I don't think we have any questions. Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? All right. Well, I would entertain a motion for item B for final adoption.
Mayor, move to adopt ordinance 2018-481, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Article 9 of land use fees.
A second?
All right. We have a motion and a second. Sherilyn, would you call the roll again, please?
Mayor Snover?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the liquor license hearing. It's item A, the Aztec Theater Center for Music and the Arts, Inc., 104/106 North Main Club Liquor License.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is for the Aztec Theater Center for Music and Arts Incorporated, this is for the club liquor license. I'm just going to state that specifically. I'm not really sure why we're having a second hearing. I don't think even the applicant is aware of why they just told us we have to have a second hearing. They've approved the 300-foot waiver for the church and the school already, so we're holding this as a technicality motion. It is a club license. I didn't find anything in the state statute, so I'm going to have to have a specific hearing for that other than the 300-foot waiver for the church. We've had that, as you can see in your packet. The Presbyterian Church has granted, they have a good business going forward. I've issued, I've given you some state statutes about what club license is, how they become a license, club license, what kind of club sales have to happen. So that's where we're at. So we're here for the waiver.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, sir.
You haven't received any negative comments on this at all, have you?
I've received no comments.
Okay.
At all, none.
Okay. I didn't think I had, but I want to make sure.
I have no questions. Commissioner Randall, any
No,
questions
sir.
or comments? Okay. Thank you, Delane.
I did want to point out, I haven't received comments on this, but I did hear from the city clerk today that there was a citizen that was concerned about why we're approving so many liquor licenses. But I don't believe there's anyone here to speak for that. So, personally for that.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. If there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion for item A under liquor license hearing.
Mayor, move to approve a waiver for a club liquor license for Aztec Theater and Center for Music and Arts Incorporated, located at 104 North Main Avenue, Aztec, New Mexico.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Sherilyn, would you please call the roll again?
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Mayor Snover?
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0.
Okay. All right. Next is city manager, commissioner, and city attorney reports. I don't think is anybody standing in for the city manager as far as giving a report? I wasn't briefed that there would be, so unless somebody speaks up, we'll go ahead and say no. Our city attorney will be on board next meeting. So with that said, we have the three of us. So Commissioner Lewis, would you like to do you have anything to report?
Not a whole lot at this point, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Outside I'm glad the days are cooling off a little.
All right. Commissioner Randall?
No report.
All right, of course. And I'm not knocking you. I wrote a bunch of stuff down. I'm like, maybe I need to trim this back a little bit. The first thing I want to do is, and I don't think anybody that's here tonight actually came out last week, and it was a mistake on my part, and I want to apologize for the mix-up over the I guess whatever we call it from week to week, the Meet Your Mayor kind of thing that I've been doing at 550 Brewery. I spoke with J.R. Sykes from the Talon a few weeks ago over lunch, and I solidified the third Wednesday, and I guess because the first Wednesday fell on the 1st of August, I dropped the ball, and I actually got a phone call or a text from Sean Pascal asking where I was. So I raced down there in my shorts and flip-flops, and there was just a couple of people there. So again, I apologize for that. I messed up, and I'll make sure I make it to the next one. Friday is the home opener for Aztec varsity football. So if you're out there for Friday night football, we kick off at 7 o'clock. If you happen to see any of my JROTC cadets, just say hey to them, and don't run them over when you're parking your car, because they'll be helping with parking and doing the color guard and putting up the flag and the big flag in the corner of the field and doing stuff like that. I wanted to kind of piggyback on Ms. Aguirre's comment and conversation and compliment about the kind of the flurry of activity that I have seen, on Main Street recently. We've got the mural on the old Ramsey building, the painting and kind of mini mural on the box in front of her store. We've some of the sprucing up of some of the buildings. We have the Tiki Hut snack bar that's kind of just recently opened. We have, that I haven't seen yet, I was just walking by the other day and I saw something on the Talon online version. We have a new barbershop that's due to open soon, right next to the mural, the new mural on Chaco, in those rows of apartments and stuff and office space. What else? We have the 550 Brewing and Pizza Parlor that's going to be opening up. I think they're shooting for this weekend. I'm not positive on that, depending on last minute things getting tied up. So I think things are heading in the right direction, despite some of the economic climate that we have here and the tough summer with the drought and all that. I think we're heading in the right direction. So it's always good to see positive things happening in Aztec, and I appreciate everybody that's out here that is doing whatever little thing it may be, from picking up a piece of trash to getting stuff painted and kind of jump starting things. It makes a big difference, and they're little wins that we can kind of be proud of as we progress to do bigger projects in the next months and years to come. I was fortunate enough to go to the ATOS meeting last week, and there's some more cool stuff going on. We had some folks from the San Juan County, and I might be messing this name up, the Disc Golf Club, that's fairly new. Randy came out and was talking to us a little bit about some of the potential of putting a disc golf course out there. They already have, and I didn't even know this was a thing. I just learned about it the other night. Foot golf, I guess, with the soccer players, which sounds super cool and fun. So they already have that out there. They have regular stick golf, or whatever you want to call it, and now with the imminent adding of, did I say that wrong? Everybody's laughing. It's stick golf. I'm clearly not a golfer, and I know Steve would have fixed me there. But and to add that, and with the potential of bringing tournaments in, and it just kind of broadens the appeal of somebody like me that would never go to a golf course, but I'll go out there and throw a disc around or kick a soccer ball, So I think that's all positive stuff, and I'm excited about that. Last thing, I'm going to cut out some of this other crap here. I want to congratulate Dr. Warman Hall for being recognized as the Secondary Schools Principal of the Year in the state of New Mexico. And I also want to, and he's my boss, so, He did not endorse this or pay me to say this. I'm not going to get a raise for it. And also, Assistant Principal and Athletic Director Brian Sanders, also for being recognized as the New Mexico Schools Athletic Director of the Year. So congratulations to them, and if you happen to see them maybe at the game this weekend, just congratulate them. So it's kind of cool to have things like that, you know, shine a positive light on Aztec. And that's all I have. So I guess we'll move on to department reports. Okay. All right. Hearing none, I will move to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, folks. That was